Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Lagos State government says health condition of the first case of coronavirus detected in the country is improving as contact cases of the patient rise to over 100 in Lagos and Ogun states. Some states in the country heightened screening of travelers at ports of entry and setting up of emergency centers to isolate suspected cases of coronavirus and prevent its spread in the country. 3 Chinese citizens quarantined in Wasai town in Plateau State for suspected coronavirus after their arrival from China some days ago. Our United States and Taliban signed deal to end a 10-year Afghan war as NATO allies agreed to withdraw all troops within 14 months if deal is respected by the militants. Our website, channelstv.com, has more information on our top stories and others. Subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser, or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. You can also watch us via your smart TV platforms on Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, and Roku. 310 health workers have been trained on how to identify and contain coronavirus in the Federal Capital Territory. Bed spaces have also been created at the National Hospital and the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital for patients who may contact the virus. That's according to the Director of the Public Health at the Federal Capital Territory Authority, Dr. Josephine Okechukwu. In the meantime, a former Director General of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Professor Abdulsalami Nasidi, says there is already an existing response team which tackled the Ebola virus in 2015. Our correspondent, Terry Kumi, looks at the issues in this report.
It's about 48 hours since the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, found its way into Nigeria through an Italian man. While the case was discovered in Lagos State, other states, including the Federal Capital Territory, are taking preventive measures. Residents of the Federal Capital Territory say they have nothing to fear.
It's just for one to be careful and be clean, use your hand sanitizer, make sure you always wash your hands.
I think I have mask, and I'm also teaching my children how to sanitize themselves through. They can wash their hands if they do anything, minimize the way they move, where we go.
Some say face masks and hand sanitizers are now either expensive or scarce.
Oh, it was very difficult to get the hand sanitizer. It was more difficult than even the mask. We had to go really far. Like this one, we got it for 7,500.
Some of the hospitals we contacted declined to respond on how prepared they are. But the FCT administration seems prepared for any case.
We've trained the disease surveillance and notification officers along with the assistants across the 6 area councils, and then the monitoring and evaluation officers and the local immunization officers. And we have trained 310 healthcare workers, and we have our hospitals where we have made available bed spaces for management of these patients in case we get any. 2 bed spaces in National Hospital and 2 in the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital in their isolation unit that are permanently there in case we have such patients.
Professor Nasidi Abdulsalami, who was part of the team that handled the Ebola virus in 2015, believes COVID-19 can be dealt with just like the Ebola virus.
So Nigeria has already a ready-to-go response team that worked on the Ebola. They can be mobilized now and to go and do aggressive contact tracing. Then West Africa is also there. We have trained so many people from different countries by Nigerian CDC and then by the ECOWAS CDC, and these people are on standby. So we can mobilize them. We don't need to wait until every country is caught before we engage them. We should bring them in. We should bring them from all the West African countries to come and face Lagos, do aggressive contact tracing, be ahead of that virus and contain it within the primary and secondary contacts.
In spite of the index case, public awareness is key. Everyone is advised to, among other things, maintain good respiratory hygiene and regularly wash their hands thoroughly with soap and water. Hand sanitizers are valuable companions at this time as well. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
While efforts to prevent the spread intensify, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has cautioned suppliers and retailers not to take advantage of people regarding basic safety and protective gear such as face masks and latex gloves, as well as personal hygiene products like sanitizers and antibacterial wipes. The Commission explains that the rise in the prices of the products violates both moral codes and extant law, which prohibits obnoxious trade practices. According to a statement from the FCCPC, the Commission's surveillance efforts revealed that some pharmacies and department stores are hiking prices and manipulating supplies in a manner that distorts the market. The Commission encourages consumers to be vigilant and report such unreasonable price hikes or trade practices to the Commission. The saying that there is ability in disability appears true for some Nigerians who have decided to look beyond their circumstances and prove their potential. One of them is Tobiloba Ajayi, who says she has learned from a tender age to do things she might not have been able to do by herself. According to her, therapy is one way she chose to manage her disability, and it has helped her achieve motor skills, posture, and movement. In this next report, our correspondent, Victoria Ido, explores the condition of a child living with disability and what parents need to do for their children in the same condition.
Bringing a child to the world is usually an exciting experience to parents and relatives. But when the child is born with a form of disability, the happiness is sometimes cut short, while those affected just accept their fate.
One day I was going to a particular church for prayers and I almost had an accident. And that was what, gave me like a brain reset and I told myself that I'm not going anywhere again. So I decided to just follow my doctor's recommendation, which was to start therapy early.
Statistics from the World Health Organization shows that 1 out of every 50 children has a disability, while between 93 and 150 million live with a disability, with the degree varying from child to child. The figures also show that about 7 million children in Nigeria live with one form of disability or another. Tobiloba Ajayi was born with cerebral palsy, a disability that affects the movement, muscles and posture of a child. But this has not been a limitation to her, as she has earned herself a degree in law, a master's degree in international law from the United Kingdom, and she's also an author of 3 books.
I was raised in a household where difference was celebrated, so even though it was acknowledged, the fact that I couldn't do certain things like my siblings could do them did not stop my parents from treating me less like every other child in the house. And so by the time that I was 5, though, it became more apparent that there were certain things that were just different.
Tobiloba's success story is a source of inspiration as it underscores the belief or saying that there is ability and disability.
Sleeping Beauty, yes, Nimi. Once upon a time,
7-year-old Oluwalo Nimi Ayinde is on that path, as her parents have thrown behind them all forms of disappointment to embrace a therapy that will make her accomplish set goals.
You would have been telling her that she should become a robotic engineer. She said, no, lawyer. Oh, yeah.
Physical therapy is beneficial to patients treating conditions such as muscle tightness, range of motion limitations, and sensory impairment. Since there is no known cure for this disability, management is required.
Therapy is not a cure. So therapy is not curative. Therapy is management. So what therapy does is that it ensures that the physical condition of the child does not deteriorate.
This center has been helping children with disability for over 20 years. Though with limited resources so far, the center has produced 11 undergraduates and 3 graduates. Okweyemi Olide is one of them, And just like Tobiloba, she's not given up on her dreams of becoming great in life, despite her physical challenges.
Primary education was in this place, and my secondary education is Malad International College. I went to university, that is Federal College of Education, Oyo. I'm now going to 300 level. My dream is to become a medical doctor.
Children living with one form of disability or another, or say a challenge, live amongst us, but we usually don't see them or take notice of them. They require special attention. We as a people and as a nation need to pay special attention and create laws that would encourage their education and protection. Victoria Ido, Channels Television News.
To some cherry news for motorists who ply the Lagos-Ibadan expressway, as the gridlock experienced at the Kara end of the road may end from tomorrow. The Federal Ministry of Works and Housing says it will open the road to traffic on Sunday following the completion of the 1.2-kilometer construction work, which is started in September last year. According to the ministry, the ongoing reconstruction and rehabilitation of the entire expressway is to be delivered in 2022.
This project was awarded, we started it in 2013, and originally we were supposed to take 48 months. But the administration, when this administration came in, the administration felt, well, rather than completing this road and then coming back to put in all these additional features, and felt something like this should really be taken into consideration, and it was approved by FEC. The minister is on anybody's head, and of course, he has assured Nigerians that this project will be completed in 2022. And by 2021, we plan to finish the entire corridor. The main corridor will be completed by 2021. And then by 2022, we should be able to complete those additional works. We are opening this stretch tomorrow morning. What we have done, we have taken you around to see the completed work. The gang that is here, we are going to move that gang to Magboro to beef up work on Magboro, to beef up the work on Ibafo and that of Muwe.
When the news at 10 returns, Central Bank of Nigeria to go after loan defaulters with private jets as part of plans to reduce effect of non-performing loans on financial institutions. That's on Business News. Join us again.